Welcome to Nerdist Podcast number 604. Here's the URL I'm going to throw in your ears. FunComfortableTour.com is the website for my upcoming stand-up tour, Fun Comfortable. And it'll give you tickets and info links for all of the cities. And there's more being added. Right now there's 14 or 15 up, but ultimately there'll be more than that. So keep checking in. Tour starts mid-January, runs through May as of now. And come out. Come to shows. They'll be fun. And they're not technically part of the tour, but I am doing Cobb's December 11th to 13th in San Francisco. So that's all the stand-up business coming up as I'm sort of getting ready for the next special, which will probably be called Fun Comfortable, I guess, if that seems to stick. So go check that out. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by 1U, which is, you could say that it's a password manager, but it's more of an identity assertion platform, I think is a better way to put it. It doesn't just keep passwords. It actually can tell if you're you, and you look at your phone, basically, and that's it. It registers you and then logs you in securely and safely to any website you ask by using your unique biometric markers, your face, your iris, and periocular regions. We're in the future. We are in the future. So you can feel like you're a super secret spy every time you go into, like, Mission Impossible, all of the basic websites that you have to get in from time to time. And 1U works harmoniously between your desktops and mobile devices. It can be used on unlimited devices and gives you the ability to back up, restore, wipe, and sync all of your data. And it instantly syncs everything across all the platforms. So go to the number 1U, the letter U, apps.com to download 1U for free. You can also find 1U at the Apple App Store and Google Play, also for free. So check it out. It's a new standard for online security, changing how you log into your online accounts. And it's great. You don't have to remember a bunch of stuff or navigate. If you have a face, you can use this app. So go to 1uapps.com. Now, I'd like to thank them for joining the Nerdist Podcast family and sponsoring this episode, which is my pal Joe Lo Truglio. Joe Lo Truglio, you might know from initially from The State. That's where I first became pals with him. And he's been in 1.5 million things. And right now, he's promoting his web series Beef, which is available on iTunes and Amazon. Michael Ian Black is in it, Christopher Maloney, and of course Joe Lo Truglio. And Joe's a great guy and a great improviser and a good sketch guy. And I really like having him on. So here we go. The Nerdist Podcast, number 604. With Joe Lo Truglio.
Now entering Nerdist.com.
Does it feel weird?
A little, yeah. So usually I'm up earlier, and today I slept in a little bit.
What is sleeping in?
10.
Whoa!
Yeah.
That really is sleeping in.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I'm usually up around 7.
You lazy fuck! How dare you!
You son of a bitch!
How dare you! So, what was the cause for the sleep in today? What opened up in your life?
We had some friends come over and we had a little viewing of Whiplash, the movie Whiplash. And
tea party?
And it was a bit of a tea party.
No, key party.
Oh, key party.
Yeah.
A key party and a tea party.
A tickle party?
It was a tickle party. It was a feather party.
It was a feather party.
Yeah.
You're not sleeping with everyone's partner, so you're just tickling
You're just tickling a little bit.
Yeah. And
how far can we get?
And how many hours can we tickle each other with a feather? And it turns out several, because you slept in until 10 this morning.
Till 10. Many hours.
You have a lot of feather scrapes all over you.
Yeah, I have some scars. I have some battle scars from it, but they feel kind of nice.
It was worth it.
It was worth it.
It was totally worth it.
For sure. Yeah.
So you're here to promote Tickle Party, which is
Tickle Party is my new digital series. It does come with your own feather.
What?
If you do buy the DVD, it does come with your own feather.
But I don't understand. If it's a web series, now I'm breaking down the premise. Web series, how do you order the DVD?
Okay, you can order the DVD. Okay. I guess that's all I'm saying. You can actually order it.
Gotcha.
And if you do, you will get a feather.
So you watched the movie Whiplash.
Watched the movie Whiplash, and I liked Miles Teller and I liked J.K. Simmons, but I didn't like the movie that much.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah. But I don't want to, talk crap about Whiplash. I mean, these guys, it's hard to make a movie. Here's what I realized watching this movie. And anytime I watch a movie that I don't like, I'm often, it's hard to get a movie done.
Yeah, it's
like everyone lighten up. Like Joe, lighten up on the movie a little bit.
Yeah.
You know how hard it is to get a movie made?
It's damn near impossible.
It is.
But maybe you should have spent less time tickling each other.
Well, and then I
paying
could have
attention to the movie.
Well, the more I think about it, the more I enjoyed the movie now, but for the wrong reasons. Like I now associate that movie with friendship and very soft touches on my skin.
Right. Well, maybe that's something that you need to be dealing with then.
Yeah.
To try to really understand.
I agree.
Why it is that you hate being happy so much. It just really turned into a therapy session. Why do you hate good things, Joe?
Why don't you like feeling good, Joe?
I always enjoy seeing. I think the first time I met you was with The State, and it was MTV Spring Break,
right?
1994.
But after Singled Out or before Singled Out?
That was before.
It was before, right?
I did one show before Singled Out, and I went to Spring Break that year. There was a Spring Break in San Diego.
Okay.
And you guys were there. And it was really fun to meet all of you.
Probably in tights doing something.
You were doing some comedy chicanery.
Yeah.
And
chicanery. Thank you for putting that word in here.
And it's funny because I constantly run into. It's sort of like how I run into a State person like every few days. Like I was at lunch the other day. Ken Marino was there having lunch with his wife. I see Tom Lennon, just because of various work things.
Right.
I'll run into Carrie Kinney at the grocery store. Like, there's something about. I'm not saying it's a conspiracy, but
right.
You guys are trying to trap me in some way.
There's a lot of us. You're gonna run into us one way or the other.
I ran into Michael Patrick Jan at a movie a few months ago. Kevin Allison's really the only one that I never really run into.
Well, how often are you in New York?
Not that often.
That's why. I bet if you were there,
he needs to be trying harder to make sure.
He needs to bring you into his fold.
Yeah,
what needs to
exactly.
Happen.
Yeah, figuratively.
It is strange, and figuratively, it is strange knowing those guys for so long and seeing everyone do so well. Strange and exciting, but like the reunion that we just had was like a thrill because suddenly you look around and you're seeing these people that you've known since you're 17 years old and you're middle-aged and talking about like putting your butts in pudding and and dipping your balls into things at like 40-something but it was okay. It was like, you know what? Yeah, this is our little part of history right here.
Hey guys, we're still dipping.
We're still dipping our balls. Yeah.
And Carrie was like, "Well, I don't."
Except for
I don't. And then she's like, "I'm kidding," and then she just pulls out these giant fake balls, which she would.
Ta-da!
It's one of my. Carrie Kinney has. She has the trademark on saying the most offensive things with the sweetest smile.
Oh, with the sweetest smile and the quickest of wit. Like she, I love her. She's like a sister, like the most talented sister I've ever had in my life.
I adore her so much.
Like, she's quick. She's quick on her feet, and like she just says things. Like you're right. Things will come out of her mouth, and you'll be like, what? And then be laughing before you even kind of understood what you heard. I don't know. There was something about.
So coming out of anyone else, you'd be like,
yeah, like whoa,
sir, madam,
madam, dear madam.
Both Carrie. So when did the State officially stop
happening?
I
think the final straw was after we recorded an album down in the Bahamas, which was like January of '96. Like the CBS special was in October of '95, and then in January '96 we went down and recorded an album. And then there was nothing left to do after that.
Sketch comedy is very hard. Now I know that that's a very simple oversimplification, but it is very hard because, especially with a group that size. Mm-hmm. I mean, even if you just had 4 people in the group, there would still be like various, because everyone has their own idea about what comedy is.
Right.
So how do you, when you have 100 members,
when it's just 160,000 of us, you're right. It becomes trickier, and then you have to kind of, you're left to kind of decide material on votes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it becomes that kind of simple in a way.
Not every sketch comedy group can hang in there like you two, who I'm convinced is a sketch comedy group now.
They give their sketches away for free on iTunes.
Yeah, I didn't ask for these
watch
sketches.
this. Yeah.
I didn't ask for these sketches. I mean, if you look at that, Bono has played a series of characters throughout the year.
He was brooding desert guy, then he was the Fly.
Then he was the Fly, and then he was Potmark guy, whatever.
Potmark,
then he was Beelzebub for a while. Like he played that devil, that like the red
Mephisto.
Mephisto. Yes. He played Mephisto.
You're right. He has a lot of masks. Bono does.
It is a sketch comedy group.
Yeah.
With the edge.
Larry Mullen, the straight guy, always keeping that beat.
Always, yeah, he's got to keep the beat going. He's a great straight guy.
Great straight man.
Yep.
Have you ever seen U2 in concert?
I have, but it was dumb because it was at the LA Coliseum, and my seats were so far back.
Yeah.
That it would have been like watching them on an iPhone that you were holding across the room. Not even the 6 Plus. I'm talking iPhone 5. Yeah. But this was years ago. I think it might have been during the Pop Mart tour. And they were the Coliseum is so big and they're so far away.
Right.
That it was silly.
I saw them for their Joshua Twee tour in like 87 at the Orange Bowl in Miami.
Oh, wow.
That was really thrilling. That was an exciting concert.
What a good time to.
Yeah, I mean, they kind of like just came on the scene on a mass level.
Well, when I just did the Oddball Comedy Tour, one of the things that I was most excited about on the tour was playing Red Rocks, which of course was home to the famous Sunday Bloody Sunday video that kind of blew them up over here.
How was that?
It was amazing.
Yeah, right? Like,
of course, it was amazing.
Outside, you're in this incredible amphitheater. I've never been there. That's one place I'd love to see.
And that was one of those situations where they just happened to be kind of filming a documentary, and they just happened to catch that song. They just happened to catch it.
Right.
And then just put it out as video, and then that's the thing that,
I had that VHS tape, that Under a Blood Red Sky U2 tape.
It implies to comedy, too, or any kind of performing, is just catching the happy accidents,
Yeah.
They could have planned that video for months, and it may not have turned out, but how can you can't really engineer the magic. It's hard to engineer the magic.
You can't. That's why I feel like so much of it is the camera going, we should just record it in case.
Yeah.
Which I feel is kind of the main philosophy now. Just get it. Just record
100 versions of it not working, and then one where you're like,
one might. And it'd be worth it.
You and I had parallel audition tracks for the longest time.
We did
before I said I can't do this anymore.
You were done.
And then I was like, I'm just gonna go make a thing myself.
Smart, by the way. Look how that worked out.
Well, it worked out okay. Yeah. But
go on. I'm sorry.
But no, I was just saying we were constantly. There was a handful of people, and I was always delighted to see you at auditions because whenever I saw people that I liked, it always made me more comfortable.
Yeah. That's nice.
And. But how many crappy, shitty pilots did we?
Both like I feel like we've been in the game for a while.
A really long time.
We're like I'm a little long in the tooth, as it were. But you're right. Like it's so interesting as doing it for as long as I've done it to see those rooms and the people that you meet in those rooms and then, like, down the line, you run into them again and be like, hey, remember when that awful time we had to audition for this thing? Or I don't know. There's a sense of, like, achievement and accomplishment that is nice to witness after,
Well, what's crazy is that now we're getting into numbers in the business, which if you said in any other profession, you'd be like, oh, that guy is Of course, he's the head of that. It's like it's a
Right.
lot to say. Like he's got 20 years experience doing this thing. Like that's a fucking long.
It's a long time. I have 20 years experience in anything
to
except
be doing
for this.
something. Yeah. So this year was my 20th year in television, and yours probably like 23, maybe 22, 23. Because the state was
94. That was
94.
94. That's
okay,
when.
so
Yeah, the same. That was when the state premiered. Maybe 93, but like.
Yeah.
But you're right. To have that many years.
Like if you met an old guy and it's like he's been a whittler for 20 years, you're like, wow, that's the longest you can do anything.
Talk to Lawrence. He's whittled before. He's been doing it for 20 years. 20 years he's been whittling.
Oh my God.
So he would know how to make. Of course he would know how to do
the person in the world. You know what's kind of funny though is that it seems like. This, of course, the 20 years is a significant part of our lives.
Yeah.
But if you started something when you were 60,
right,
you could conceivably live to 80.
Get there to 80.
You could do something for 20 years.
Whittling would be the exact thing you should pick up at 60.
That's what happens.
That's conducive to a 60-year-old.
You know why? Because the older you get, your eyesight gets better, your motor skills improve.
It's better to have sharp objects in your hand at that age. Always.
Where you're just like right near your finger or children, like always.
You're going to have a porch at that point. You would think at that age.
Absolutely.
To have like an ice cold pitcher of lemonade to be by your side
at all times.
At all times.
And a spouse who has barely been able to tolerate you, but then is just.
But will bring you finger sandwiches.
Bring you finger sandwiches. But she's just too old at that point for any other options.
That's right.
And so you're stuck. You're glued together.
Yet you're getting sandwiches, lemonade. You've made a bunch of bird callers at this point.
Yeah.
You've whittled them down.
This is why there needs to be like an elderly dating service like Grandr, Grandr, for old people who just want to hook up and talk each other's ears
off.
I've heard, and I'm sure that people can comment in the thread on where this podcast posts about, but people in retirement homes like they're super randy. Like they will try to fuck you.
There has to be an app, or there should. Who would use it? I guess they would.
Yeah.
But you're right. I've written my parents are in Florida. They live in Florida, and they were telling me about a friend who experienced something like this, where it was a news story. It was a news story about a person in a retirement community that was literally kind of flirting and making moves on their fellow retirees, their neighbors, and got really kind of worked up about it and started essentially getting handsy with the other people in this community.
Really?
Yeah.
Did they enjoy that, or were they not too cool with it?
No.